Show. Welcome to a late Sunday afternoon, late summer episode of 999 Show. The cows are here. I think they've been separated from their calves because they're a little bit extra noisy. I hope that the stream is clear. My internet provider has reduced the service and raised my prices, so I'm getting like an upload speed of like 7 megabits per second and a download speed of like 44, whereas 6 months ago, I was getting download speeds of 100 and upload speeds of like 25. And welcome, travel siblings. Welcome to Cow TV. It's been a while since I've been on. I took a short break. Though I was on last 2 nights ago, we had a massive thunderstorm here, and I took 30 plus minutes of thunderstorm footage. I gotta check and see if the stream is clear. I don't know if it is or not. I'm probably not going to do too many more of those episodes with the wig on because I got too many complaints from my regular viewers about the troll activity. So anyways, I mean, I actually liked doing the wigs. I liked the costumes. I liked all of that stuff, and I found it extremely exhilarating to have 1,000 people in my chat. But some folks. Anyway, that's their prerogative. Yeah, I know. I might try it again. Welcome. This is Cow TV. I got cows in my backyard, and we're just kind of like enjoying the scene. Enjoying the scene outside. We got all these nice little things. We could actually try and it's actually hunting season now too. Bow hunting season, and so there's been all kinds of people coming on up the road. People I don't know, strange cars and so forth, and they are. This is in the Oregon Coastal Mountains. This is the Oregon Coastal Mountains. That's where the location is at. I'm about in a Oregon, yeah. I'm as the crow flies. Road miles is different, but as if you were just going straight, I would be like 15 miles from the ocean. I'm about 15 miles from the ocean. But road miles is different, and time-wise, it's different. So it's like a 45-minute drive to the ocean from where I live. But you're living my dream. Well, yeah, my dream is to downsize my life into an Airstream and live on the coast. And that would be to live on the coast, because I literally want to live on the coast, like at Seaside or Newport or a little further south or all of the above. Seaside is my preferred. Seaside, Oregon, or even Long Beach, Washington. Those areas are like my preferred areas to live, but unless you're a multimillionaire, there's no chance. You're living on the coast, but out of the USA. Yeah. But here, unless you are unless you are a multimillionaire, you can't live on the coast anywhere in the United States. As far as I know, I know that I know there's a lot of people who aren't millionaires who live on the coast. Like a lot of the tribal peoples and just the peoples in general who just live there 365 a year, and they work and they do jobs. They work in restaurants. They work in. I don't know. People. I have a difficulty pronouncing words and so forth, and I'm not a. So I don't. How is it pronounced? Can you do that? Yeah, the real estate prices on oh, sorry, I bumped the tripod, are really insane. And yeah, but there are a lot of people who do live on the coast. The closest I came to living on the coast is I lived in Seattle, Washington for 8 years, and I was right pretty much close to downtown, and that is at the absolute closest. This is the second closest. I grew up here. And this is, like I said, as the crow flies, I'm like 20 miles from the ocean. I'm in the coastal mountains, and right in the coastal mountains. And then, but road miles is further. Time-wise, is like less than an hour. But that's not bad. That's not bad at all. And it's beautiful down there. And then we'll go see if we can take a look at those cows. They were really close up because they were thinking they were going to get a handout. But I didn't actually have a handout for the... Sky by die, Sky by D. Is that what it is? Ski by D. I'm trying to think that you're trying to troll me for something, but I'm trying to not be trolled by that word. So ski. What the hell does that mean? Okay, so you're working on a cruise ship. Hey, you know what? I got a story for you. I worked at a casino. I've worked at in this area. I've worked at indigenous casinos, and in one of the casinos that I worked in, which is just a couple miles away from where I live. There was a lady that I met, and she was a Siletz Indian. Probably shouldn't say that, but she was an indigenous person whose family lived on the coast. And anyway, she left her job at this casino and got a job on a cruise ship. Now, many years ago, on my... Did I say the word wrong? I got like scammed again, didn't I? Travel sibling. So anyways, I don't know what that word means. I'm just like an old man. I don't know what you're, that SKIBID. I don't know what that word means. Anyways, this lady who I worked with at a casino, she was in a different channel. She was a different department. I worked in a casino in food and beverage as a cocktail server, a bar back, and a bartender. And then also I was a cashier. I worked with money. And anyways, Sydney Goodham, welcome. And Well, so this lady, she worked in a different department than me, and I used to chat with her all the time. She was really, really a nice-looking lady. And then several years ago, on my 50th birthday, I took a trip to Hawaii, and I spent 9 nights on Waikiki Beach. I just loved that trip. I went by myself. I had an absolute fun, the best time of my life going to Hawaii by myself. You know, that was good because sometimes those vacations are best taken by yourself, because then you don't have anyone else to, you know, you go on a vacation and people are whining and moaning about, you know, oh, I want to go, oh, the sun's too hot, oh, this and that, you know, because that's just how. Oh, you have to go. All right. Well, anyway, thank you for popping in Travel Civilly. And then, so anyways, while I was there, I met with a classmate from high school, and she took me into Honolulu, and we went to this Walmart. And while I was at that Walmart, I ran into that lady who worked at that casino that I worked at, who got a job on a cruise ship. And so she worked on this cruise ship for 2 or 3 years. And then she got sick and tired of working on that cruise ship. And she walked off the job in Honolulu. They pulled into Hawaii on Oahu, and she walked off the job. And then she got a job at this Walmart in there. And I just happened to go into that Walmart on that particular day of the week, and she was there as a security guard at the front door. And I thought that was just like totally amazing. I mean, that was a totally amazing experience that I had on my birthday month when I turned 50. You know, I don't know, what is that? That was like a decade ago? Yeah, almost a decade ago, because I'm almost 60 years old. So you was in there 3 times. I was there on my 50th birthday, and then I was there when I was in like the 5th grade. And so I wanted to do some of the same things that I did when I was little, like snorkeling. Welcome, Chloe. Yeah. Yeah, like snorkeling, and I enjoyed, but you know, my swimming skills at that age, at 50, were crap compared to what I was when I was like, what? How old are you when you're in the 5th grade? I don't remember how old people are anymore. What, 10 years old? So my swimming skills at 10 years old, I was way, way stronger of a swimmer than I was at 50, or even now at almost 60 years old. And so now you go on the river and the cruise is way easier. Yeah. And I had some other of those serendipitous moments in my life. So for instance, this is another one. I was living up in Seattle. I moved from McMinnville, Oregon, and that was the largest city I had ever lived in. And at that time, when I moved to McMinnville, it was 12,000 people. And when I left, it was like 27,000. And then I moved to Seattle, and I was totally overwhelmed because it was the immensity of that mega, for me, a mega metropolitan area. And there I was, lost, culture shock, whatever you want to call it, but I was in Seattle. Now, when I was in McMinnville, I had organized open mics, poetry shows, and so forth in the city. And there was a English teacher from the high school who we were working together to do open mic poetry in McMinnville. And so this guy, 3 of my adult friends were right beside me every day as a child, and I never knew that they rode the same bus. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, my name is Bill. This is 999 WJL-Show. That's my handle. And so I organized this open mic with this English teacher. He was a high school teacher, English teacher. And when I was living in McMinnville, and then I moved up to Seattle. a childhood friend had just gone through a divorce and moved me up to Seattle so I could get. So you have a story too? That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. Once you type out your story, and I'll read it off a little bit here. And anyways, one of the first persons I met, this guy who was a writer in the Seattle open mic circuit, and we're still friends. And when I came back, when I moved from Seattle back to Oregon, you know, this was actually when Facebook was new. So when I moved up to Seattle, it was prior to social media, prior to YouTube, prior to Facebook, prior to MySpace, prior to all these things, you know, and all that stuff. And so prior to Facebook, and so when I moved back, it was right around the time that Facebook was opened up to the general population. And so this fellow who I had met early on when I had moved up to Seattle in the open mic circuit, it come to find out that he and that English teacher that from McMinnville were friends. That they were when they were younger, they did acting together in Chicago. They went to the same college and got their same Masters in Fine Arts in Theater in Chicago. Then they both lived in Seattle for a while and did professional acting and things like that up in Seattle. And then the English teacher, he got married, and he took a job working as a high school teacher. He's retired now, but I think he retired into doing like substitute work. And my friend, that writer actor friend, he like me is taking care of his elderly mother. But you know, it was like, this is the small world stuff. That I had this continuation of these people that were influential in my life. And many of these people knew each other prior. And so that was like these totally amazing experiences. And so before the cruise, I watched many old Hollywood movies since I was a kid. I was in love with that old school American spirit. When I make my first step in USA from cruise, literally, I make my dream, you make your dream come true. Well, that's interesting. You mean like that show Love Boat? My grandmother just absolutely loved that show Love Boat, and she watched that all the time. I would go watch TV with my grandmother. She passed on in 1993 in this house here, in this house behind me. She passed away here, but her house was like a mile that way, so only in the movies. So you visited so many places. I've been some places where some movies were filmed, in Tampa, Florida, one place. So old school stuff. So you was looking only in the movies. And so also, I can tell you, the town that I lived in after I was like turned 18 and moved out of the house, McMinnville, there was a film that was filmed there called The Quarterback Princess. And The Quarterback Princess with, what was that actress's name? Oh man, I can't remember. She played in, I think the movie Contact. I'll have to look that up. I'll look that up to see what movie it was. But anyway, it was a story about and it was a true story. It was a movie that was a made-for-TV movie, and you can actually find The Quarterback Princess free on YouTube. It came out only like in VHS, and it was never went into DVD. So it was formatted for VHS, and so the people who have copies of Quarterback Princess. They only have it in VHS, and they've, it goes up on YouTube for, for a while until YouTube takes it down. And but it then it goes back up again. But what was that lady's name? Quarterback Princess. It was based on a true story of the story of Tammy Maida. And Tammy Maida was a girl who played, who became like a high school football quarterback. And but this true story was set in Philomath, Oregon. That's like in like a suburb of Corvallis. Corvallis is, so you have Oregon State University and University of Washington. Oregon State University is in Corvallis. That's also a place I would love to live, but it's pretty expensive. And Eugene, Oregon is where the University of Oregon is, which the Oregon Ducks, I believe, is a Pac-10 football team. I don't really watch football, but nevertheless, anyways. And so after a cruise, you experienced you wanted to move to the USA, but you wasn't lucky. So you missed those cruises and the places that you visited. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get into the USA these days. So when you came back, you had this feeling like you dreamt it all. Yeah, the only place I'd ever been outside the United States was Israel. I went to Israel in the 90s with my college. I studied. I had essentially almost a double major in mathematics and religious studies with a minor in physics. So I had essentially a double minor in physics and religious studies and a major in mathematics. And just after I graduated from college, my Old Testament professor asked if I wanted to go to Israel, to do they had a 1 month long January term, and so they often did like travel classes in January. Like some people, I knew people who went to India in one of those travel classes. One of the people who's I miss that guy because I hadn't seen him for years. We used to jam together. I'd play guitar and he'd play violin. He was also a classmate in the physics department. He graduated with a bachelor's in physics, and then he went off to India, had a religious experience, and he came back just like a transformed person. He gave up Catholicism, and then he would wander around campus in this robe, this Jesus robe, as I called it. And but anyways, this is a funny story. This was funny, and so I'm not a sports person, but in my last year in college, I played in Intramural on an Intramural softball team called the Puppets of Satan, and so this guy in the Jesus robe, he'd be wearing this Jesus robe around, and he'd go up to bat. And there's one time, we never won a game, except for one time we won one game in that whole Intramural softball series. I don't know, maybe was it like 20 games? We played I was in a fraternity. We'd play fraternities. We'd play, all these different teams around the softball teams and Intramural thing. And the Puppets of Satan were all of the nerds, your more geeky people. And anyways, we were this was funny. This is a funny story. I just remembered that, but it was just like so this guy, I'm not going to say his name. He gets up to bat. He takes that Jesus robe off, and he's standing there in his tighty-whitey underwear, and he's up there, with the bat, and he's getting ready to swing. And in the pitcher, we were playing against the baseball team, the fraternity, what is it, Pi Caps? Pi Cap. These guys were all those people were on the baseball team. They were top-notch baseball players, and because they had won almost every single game in that, and they were slated to be the champions of the college intramural softball tournament, whatever. Well, the guy went to pitch, and he was laughing so hard that my buddy hit a home run. And there were 3 people on the bases, and he scored 4 points with that, and we won the game by that move. It was just so funny, it was just such a funny experience. I almost forgot about it until just this moment. So you traveled more than half of the planet. That is awesome. So how long did you travel for? How long did it take to travel about half the world on a boat? I mean, I had relatives who were merchant marines. I think my father's people all immigrated from Sweden between the time of the 1880s and the 1920s, I think it was. But and one of those uncles, I had met him too. He did a lot of the carpentry work or the cement work for this house. My father built this house in the 70s, and his uncle, who had been a merchant marine, a sailor, he helped to build. I think he did some of the cement work too. But anyways, yeah. How long did it take you to travel about half the planet? Anyways, the cows are quite a ways out. My fruit is starting to get ripe. Anyways, this has been a good day. I haven't been on for like a week. Yeah, except for Friday night. I guess I did need a break. I needed a break from doing YouTube. So anyways, I think I'm going to call it a session because I don't think anybody's watching right now. So anyways, thank you guys. Thank you, the yo. Thank you, Chloe. Thank you, Travel Siblings. Thank you, Hawk. People, the Troll. Sydney Goodham, thank you. And everyone else who popped in to say hi. Or maybe I'll just continue on. Oh. Araftus, welcome. Well, we got cows out there. I wonder if I can, let's just do a look around. I'll move the camera to another rig. Uh-oh. Let's see if we can do this without screwing everything up. Man, I talk fast. Okay. We can do a little look around. Well, I guess I'm not going now. You came back. I can walk around the house. We can do a little walkabout. I might get a little pixelated if I do this. This rose bush belonged to my grandmother. She's been passed on since '93. And then we got a bunch of bushes and stuff. So you're from Turkey? You just speak a little bit of English? Yeah. So anyways, I gotta stay really close to the house because the Wi-Fi zone is much weaker out here. There's stuff I gotta take back in the house that I forgot to the other day. So if you look out there be the cows. They're not my cows. They're someone else's cows. But these are Asian pear trees. The pears are kind of ripe, but they don't taste that good. This year, all the fruits got this is the United States on the West Coast. So you're from Turkey? I actually have relatives who are doing illegal Christian missionary work in Turkey. Oh, my foot hurts. I think I broke one of my little toes the other night, stubbing it on something. We're just gonna move over here then. It might get pixelated. And then some of those apples in that tree. I don't know if USA is good anymore, but it is what it is. So they work in Istanbul and you live in Istanbul? Yeah. I probably shouldn't say that I have relatives that are doing illegal Christian missionary work in Turkey. I also have had a cousin. One of my mother's cousins. Though my mother never met her because the lady she passed away in like 1860 or something like that. She was a missionary in China and established a women's school, a women's college that still exists today in China, because I had a physics professor who took students over to China to look at Chinese infrastructure and different feats of physics, mechanical engineering things, and he passed on a few years ago. I miss him. But, so you yeah, I've read the Bible 5 times. I've looked at the Quran once. But I see a distant cousin, who was a missionary in China and started a women's college, I think in 1860, in the mid 1800s, and that college is now is still like a private high school or something in China that's still to this day. But yeah. Anyways, this is a apple tree. I don't particularly care for apples, and that's a grape tree. Let me see if we can go around any more. The Wi-Fi, maybe the Wi-Fi is good enough. I can show you my garden. Hopefully my tomatoes will all ripen up before fall comes, so I can make tomato sauce, because I have like probably 100 tomatoes in here. The squash are goners. So the Wi-Fi is good. That's great. So I got yellow tomatoes right down here. We'll just show you. These are, I'm going to make tomato sauce out of all of these tomatoes. I've been eating quite a few of them, but you can only eat so many. Now, those are some I think I'm going to save those for seeds. That's a monster zucchini. This is a larger zucchini too. It's too old to eat now. I also have one spaghetti squash right over there. And so, let's go step over this thistle. So yeah, it's my garden. And these are, look at that nice tomato. We'll just kind of taste it here. It's really sweet. I need to go pick some more blackberries. Let's taste one of these yellow tomatoes. So we got a tomato. No, I'm not a farmer. My expertise, when I was younger, I did not a farmer. It has an interesting taste to it. But those were, my dad planted those grapes. I don't consume alcohol, even though I worked in alcohol service for many years in a casino. Alcohol gives me migraines. And plus, I really don't like being intoxicated. And my job, I'm taking care of my mother, who is in who's old. She's 86. I'm taking care of my mother, who's 86. I watch over her. She doesn't really want to be left alone, so I am hopeful that I can turn YouTube into a revenue stream, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I'm just finishing my 3rd year of content creation on this channel. I just crossed over like the 1,000 sub mark recently, but my watch time isn't up there yet. I'm a good a little over 1,000 hours. Well, I need probably about 2,000 hours to hit that 4,000 hour threshold. But I've been as close as 1,500 hours. But this month last year, I got like 600 hours of watch time, and I'm going to be losing all 600 of those hours soon. But anyways, it's what it is. You know, things are what things are. So, you know, I look after my mom, and there's the neighbor cows. One of my neighbors, almost their entire family live here. They own, a mile of timberland. They own a mile of property. 2 miles, I think, 2 miles. 10,000 acres, I think I've heard. And the original buyer of this valley loved cows. And that's their herd. They were the owners of this valley. They had a logging company, and so they made so this area here, this area that I'm living in, economically was built on the timber industry. My father owned and operated a lumber mill, and so a little small hardwood mill. And so at one time in this area, there were hundreds of mills ranging from small portables to little bit larger size mills. And so in this valley here, there's two main families, and they all made their fortune in as having logging companies. And I had like friends, and I've known lots of people who did that. Now some of the friends of the family are farmers. There's not much farming left going on. These cows over here are just like a hobby for the family that owns this valley. Anyways, so welcome, and it was nice to chat with you, Arfus. All right, let's see if I can get back there without like hurting my little toe. Yeah, welcome, Chloe. And I wonder if I can go and try if I can go without pixelating the whole thing too much. I broke my little toe, I think, Chloe, a couple days ago. Come up here. I'm sure it's probably pixelated, but here, this one's ripe. Actually, they're both ripe. No, that one's got bug holes in them. All right. We'll try this one. It probably has like deer slobber on it or something. Oh, you got some apricot jam. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, my aunt's going to bring, in about 2 weeks, she's going to bring my mother, not necessarily me, jars of weird. I was just trying to turn this thing around. So this is pear. It's an apricot pear. Still, it's hard like an apple. But you know, it's funny, all the fruit, everything, even those tomatoes, they have a funky smell. Every fruit in this valley has this funky ass taste. It was almost like we haven't had a wildfire here since 2020, but it tastes like it's been affected by wildfires, like maybe the ash from wildfires or something. Maybe the rainwater had something in it that has affected everything. One of these cows is getting closer here. If I take this, let's just do this here. So you only got like 356 subs? Yeah. It's hard. YouTube is hard. But it doesn't even like the pear. Yeah. YouTube's really hard, and that is for sure. Yeah. It's kind of hard to figure out how to do this. You know, sometimes, Chloe, it's like throwing crap at the wall to see what sticks. So you have neighbor cows too? Yeah. Yeah, as long as they're like neighbor cows. Oh, it's eating that thing. Once you like feed one of them, you know, then they all come begging for more. Oh, my mom's coming out. So,
here, just grab it.
There's the dog.
Grab
Okay.
The dog, the coffee.
All right, there's Pee-wee.
What are you doing?
I'm just doing a show here.
Okay.
Oh, that's hot. Can you grab it again? Okay. There's the dog. Oh, there she is. Oh, my mother's gonna come out and join me here, so I'm gonna turn the camera off here.
My hair look like
Yeah, she'll come over, sit over here. And let me move this tripod out of the way. There's Pee-wee. Yep, the cows are here. Well, I think the calves went away.
Yeah, they probably did.
Yeah, and so that's why the cows are kind of they're crying out for their babies, which are gone. So anyways, thank you everyone for the conversations, for asking questions and sharing stories. And I'll see you again. I do have my 3-year anniversary of this channel is on Tuesday. I'm going to set that at 9 p.m. That's September 9th. 9/9 at 9 p.m. So that's 999 show. My very first episode was aired on September 9th at 9 p.m. 3 years ago. Yep, we'll see you the next time. Bye-bye. Oh, it's okay.